The tension was palpable. You could almost feel the collective heartbeat of the fans, each one hoping, praying for a victory. The air was thick with anticipation, every breath a testament to the high stakes of the night. Stamford Bridge hummed with nervous energy. The iconic stadium, bathed in the glow of floodlights, was a cauldron of emotions. Fans from all walks of life had gathered, united by their love for the game and their unwavering support for Chelsea. Chelsea, desperate for Champions League qualification, faced a Manchester United side still reeling from their FA Cup final defeat. The stakes couldn't be higher. For Chelsea, it was a chance to redeem a season of ups and downs, to prove their mettle on the grandest stage of European football. Every tackle, every pass, every shot carried the weight of a season's ambition. The players knew that a single moment of brilliance or a lapse in concentration could define their entire campaign. The intensity on the pitch was matched only by the fervor in the stands. Chelsea knew only a win would do. The manager's pep talk was a rallying cry, a call to arms. The players huddled together, drawing strength from each other, ready to give their all for the badge and the fans. Anything less, and their fate would hang precariously in the balance. The scoreboard loomed large, a constant reminder of the task at hand. Fans watched with bated breath, their eyes flicking between the action on the pitch and the numbers on the board. The pressure was on, and the Blues needed their big-game players to deliver. The atmosphere was electric. The stadium lights cast long shadows, adding to the drama of the night. Every cheer, every groan from the crowd added to the symphony of the game. The roar of the crowd echoed around the stadium, urging Chelsea forward. It was a wall of sound, a wave of support that pushed the players to dig deeper, to run faster, to fight harder. The fans were the 12th man, their passion a driving force. Every fan knew what was at stake. They had come with banners, flags, and painted faces, ready to support their team through thick and thin. The sense of community, of shared purpose, was palpable. This was more than just a game. It was a collective dream. A place amongst Europe's elite beckoned. The Champions League was the ultimate prize, a stage where legends are made. For Chelsea, it was a chance to reclaim their place among the best, to write a new chapter in their storied history. This was more than just a game. It was a test of character, of resilience, of the will to win. The players walked onto the pitch with steely determination, their faces etched with focus. They knew what was at stake, and they were ready to give everything. This was a battle for pride, for glory, for a chance to etch their names into Chelsea's rich history. The echoes of past glories reverberated through the stadium, a reminder of what was possible. The players were not just playing for themselves, but for the legacy of the club, for the fans, and for the future. The breakthrough came in the 71st minute. Reece James, a constant menace down the right flank, whipped in a dangerous cross. The ball hung in the air, begging to be met. Then, Marc Cucurella rose above the Manchester United defense, his header powerful and precise. The net rippled. Stamford Bridge erupted. Cucurella, often criticized for his defensive contributions, had become the unlikely hero. His goal, a testament to his determination and aerial prowess, sent a surge of relief and elation through the Chelsea faithful. It was a moment of individual brilliance that could define Chelsea's season. The match was a tense affair, punctuated by moments of controversy and near misses. Chelsea, spurred on by the raucous home crowd, started brightly. James, in inspired form, rattled the post with a thunderous strike. Manchester United, however, were not to be outdone. They thought they had taken the lead through Harry Maguire, only for VAR to intervene, ruling the goal out for offside. It was a marginal call, but one that proved pivotal. The tension on the pitch was mirrored in the stands. Every decision, every challenge was met with a cacophony of cheers and jeers. This was a match where fine margins would decide the outcome. Every inch mattered, every decision scrutinized. Chelsea's victory propelled them into 4th place, a crucial position as the season neared its end. The team had shown remarkable resilience and determination throughout the campaign, overcoming numerous challenges and setbacks. Their recent form had been nothing short of spectacular, with key players stepping up when it mattered most. A point ahead of Aston Villa with just one game remaining, Chelsea's fate was in their own hands. The pressure was immense, but the team was focused and ready to give their all in the final showdown. The race for Champions League qualification had reached fever pitch. Fans from all over the world were glued to their screens, eagerly anticipating the outcome of the final matches. The atmosphere in the stadiums was electric, with supporters cheering their teams on with unwavering passion. Aston Villa, enjoying a resurgence under Unai Emery, had been one of the surprise packages of the season. Emery's tactical acumen and ability to get the best out of his players had transformed the team into genuine contenders for a top-4 finish. They were still very much in contention, and their fans dared to dream of a return to Europe's elite competition. The players were motivated and determined to seize this golden opportunity. Their fate, however, was no longer entirely in their own hands. They needed to rely on other results going their way, adding an extra layer of tension to an already nerve-wracking situation. They needed to win their final match and hope for a Chelsea slip-up. The stakes couldn't be higher, and every moment on the pitch would be crucial. Chelsea, on the other hand, knew that a victory in their final game would secure their place in the ChampionsLeague. The players were focused, and the coaching staff had meticulously prepared for this decisive encounter. Manchester City, languishing in 6th place, faced an uphill battle. Despite their star-studded squad and the tactical genius of Pep Guardiola, they had struggled to find consistency throughout the season. Pep Guardiola's side had 2 games in hand, but they needed to win both and hope for other results to go their way. The pressure was immense, and the margin for error was slim. They needed to win both and hope for other results to go their way. The pressure was immense, and the margin for error was slim. The players knew that they had to give their all in these final matches. The Premier League table was a tangled web of permutations and possibilities. Every goal, every save, and every decision could have a significant impact on the final standings. The Premier League table was a tangled web of permutations and possibilities. Fans and analysts alike were busy calculating the various scenarios that could unfold on the final day. The final day of the season promised to be a nail-biting climax. With so much at stake, the drama and excitement were guaranteed. Football fans around the world were in for a thrilling conclusion to an unforgettable season. Section 5. The Final Hurdles. Chelsea's final match, a trip to Nottingham Forest, suddenly took on monumental significance. The entire season had built up to this moment, and the pressure was palpable. The players knew that their performance in this match could define their entire year. A win would guarantee their place in the Champions League, but anything less would leave them vulnerable. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the fans were on the edge of their seats. The atmosphere in the stadium was electric, with every pass, every tackle, and every shot carrying immense weight. Nottingham Forest, already safe from relegation, had little to play for but pride. However, pride can be a powerful motivator. The Forest players were determined to give their fans something to cheer about in their final home game of the season. However, they were more than capable of causing an upset. Their recent form had been impressive, and they had already taken points off several top teams this season. The Chelsea players knew they couldn't afford to underestimate their opponents. For Aston Villa, their focus was twofold. They had their own league match to worry about, but their eyes were also on the Europa League final. The players were juggling the demands of 2 competitions, each with its own set of challenges. They needed to beat West Ham in their final league game. This was no easy task, as West Ham had been in good form and were fighting for a European spot themselves. The match promised to be a fierce battle, with both teams giving their all, and then overcome the daunting challenge of Manchester United in the Europa League final. Manchester United, a team with a rich history in European competitions, would be a formidable opponent. The Villa players knew they would need to be at their very best to stand a chance. Victory in Europe would secure a Champions League place, regardless of their league position. This added an extra layer of importance to the final, making it a must-win game for Villa. The players were acutely aware of what was at stake. The pressure was on, the stakes were high. Every decision, every moment on the pitch could tip the balance. The tension was almost unbearable, with fans and players alike feeling the weight of the occasion. The final week of the season promised to be a roller coaster of emotions. From the highs of victory to the lows of defeat, every twist and turn would be felt deeply. It was a time of hope, anxiety, and anticipation as the teams prepared to give their all in pursuit of glory. Section 6. Voices from the Trenches. It was a massive win for us, said a relieved Cucurella after the match. We knew how important it was to get 3 points. We showed great character and determination. Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim, still smarting from the defeat, tried to remain upbeat. "We are disappointed with the result," he said, "but we have to move on, we have a big final coming up, and we need to be ready." The contrasting emotions were evident. Chelsea, buoyed by their victory, dared to dream. Manchester United, their wounds still raw, sought solace in the prospect of silverware. The battle for Champions League qualification had taken its toll, both physically and emotionally. Section 7. A moment of unwanted drama. The match was not without its unsavory moments. In the second half, a pitch invader briefly interrupted proceedings, delaying the game as security struggled to apprehend him. It was a stark reminder of the ugly side of the beautiful game, a moment that cast a shadow over an otherwise compelling encounter. The incident, thankfully, passed without further incident. However, it served as a reminder that football, for all its beauty and passion, is not immune to the challenges that plague society. Section 8. Eyes on the prize Nottingham Forest awaits. As the dust settled on a dramatic night at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea's focus shifted to their final test. Nottingham Forest away. It was a match that would define their season. A win, and they would be back among Europe's elite. Anything less, and they would be left to rue what might have been. The pressure was on, but so too was the opportunity. Chelsea, a team reborn under Graham Potter, had a chance to write their own destiny. Nottingham Forest awaited, ready to play the role of spoilers. The final act of this thrilling drama was about to unfold. Section 9. The Spirit of the Bridge. The victory over Manchester United was a testament to the spirit that Graham Potter had instilled in this Chelsea team. They had shown resilience, character, and a never-say-die attitude. Stamford Bridge, a cauldron of noise and passion, had played its part. The fans, sensing the magnitude of the occasion, had roared their team on to victory. Now, they dared to dream. Champions League qualification, once a distant hope, was within touching distance. One final push, one final hurdle to overcome. The spirit of the bridge was strong. The belief was palpable. Chelsea's destiny was in their own hands.